All right, yosh. Hello, konnichiwa, to episode 12 of a Steins review, episodic review, core notes, non-blind. And as important as the start of a show, so as well, it is important to have a strong midway point. Strong middle and strong finale, but we're not there yet. We are now at the middle point. So let us dig in to episode 12. After a brief recap, we had Okabe get another threat. You know too much, with a image of a severed doll, a bloody doll head. Not good, and pretty much 100% guaranteed this video would be demonetized even if my channel had the requirements necessary to be re-monetized. That using those kind of words, yeah, they check all the words, every word you say, and that sort. But anyhow, let's dig in. Okabe got the threat. So we open up to like 70 million year ago, for whatever reason. It's Mayuri kind of narrating Okabe's mind, or whatever the case, talking in some sort of vision, dream sequences with Okabe, the time machine, traveling world lines to find him, different versions of him and her, infinite versions of them, but she claims to be the original. She thinks they'll die, but the them that are will travel down to modern times. Yeah, try following that. And then there's just these odd visuals, and there's like a backdrop image of Mayuri, just black, and it kind of just fades like dust or sand or something, like some material like that. Very weird and bizarre. And then I think Okabe wakes up, or whatever the case. 2010 8/12 at 13:59. Okabe is not acting his usual self. Who would after or who could even sleep after that kind of a threat? I probably wouldn't sleep for half a week. And he stays pondering things to himself, the seriousness of the situation in which they find themselves in. They dug deep, and a lot could be going bad. Makise takes notice that Okabe is not being himself here. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Daro completes the work on the time leap machine. It has been completed, and they have access to the LHC, Large Hadron Collider, for it to be used as a compressor. And it converts the memory to terabytes. So megabyte, or kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, whatever the case. 3.24 to be exact. And the microwave cell phone is limited to 36 bytes. The LHC black hole compresses the 3.24 TB down to 36 bytes. The time limit is within the span of 48 hours to be able to send memory back in time to their past self with future information, knowledge, memories. However, unlike the D-mail, this time leap device requires a human test subject. So you talk about upping the ante, they don't know if this thing will even work. And they're talking about sending their memories into the past, their past self. Holy moly. Talk about high risk. Talk about a gamble. Don't sign me up first. No, thank you. But someone, it has to be someone. Daru and Makise are sure confident that CERN have not been able to track them or their activity, with the hacking and stuff like that. For they would have seen an indication of it, which leads them, which leads the viewers to ponder the haunting image sent to Okabe as a threat. Hello. It indeed was the case. We do have it, they just don't know about it. Okabe wills to find out whether or not they can conquer time, despite the two threats to him. That they obviously, at least one individual knows everything they're up to. Everything. Absolutely everything. Possibly all of CERN. Oh, good gosh. Oh, losing my train of thought. But he wants to conquer time. He wants to see if they can conquer time. If they can conquer time, then CERN is just small potatoes to anything they can manage. If they can beat CERN, they've won. It's all down to this. It's all down to this. Okabe concludes the best option is for them to go public with their findings. Whoa. This is all trying to be kept secret, but now they want to tell everyone, the entire world, about what's going on, what they're onto. Think about the ramifications of that, what that would set into motion. I would think that would be pretty bad as well. That would be probably as bad as saying, hey, I made a time travel device. And hey, we're making a second one that's better. Not telling and getting these threats is probably just as bad as telling the whole world, revealing to the whole world, oh, time travel's real. And by the way, we left you the breadcrumbs, and it's legit. Here we have it. Even that would set off the entire world. Pretty much all going to fight over that sucker, declare war. All of them are going to go after it immediately. They're all going to fight over it. They need it. They all need it because they can't trust the other countries, type of a deal. So I think it would be equally bad whether they would have kept it under wraps or not, whether they do or don't. So anyhow, so probably due to the threats, Okabe arrived to this point, and Makise becomes worried about this route because of her participation. Sometimes I try to talk a little too fast, so let's slow down here. If I do talk too fast, you can try slowing it down, and maybe I'll have a deeper voice. So, anyhow, Makise worries about revealing all the time travel stuff to the world, for she has participated in the progress of it, the making of it, and the machines, and thus her father's reaction to it, in all likelihood, his response is going to be to hate her worlds more. You should not hate. Hate is very bad. Very bad. Don't hate anyone. Don't hate anyone. It's okay to dislike them or something they think or their stance on something, but don't hate them. Don't hate them. Hate is just going to wreak havoc on you. Do not hate. Do not hate. Word of advice. Do not hate. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. Probably going to make mistakes if you do, but you're human, so you're going to really not like someone at some point. But best to get over it. Focus on good things. But anyhow, Makise's father is in all likelihood going to be all the more disgusted and hate-filled of his own daughter if it's revealed that, oh, she helped bring about, one of the top things you could ever conceive being made to be able to rule time. So that's that part. That's her perspective. That's very good. Okabe reminds her not to worry, for she is under his protection as a lab member. And he talks of her submitting to his evil will. There he's going all Chunibu. Chuni, for short. I think that fits. He says, so long as she remains in contact. Under those stipulations. So long as she remains in contact. And they both kind of minorly blush. Okabe, and this just kind of builds into a minor neat moment here. It's kind of just them, I think, up high, and it was kind of yellowy brick and rail up high a bit, them pondering the route and really, really, really communicating well about things. Just kind of taking a breather on the side, pondering the immediate future of what is going to follow after they reveal things. And so yeah, he kind of gets a little talk in there. They both kind of blush, and he checks her like this if she's got a fever, for she is acting unusual in response to his words. And Okabe doesn't will her to complicate things as an assistant. I kind of botched that there. Okabe doesn't will her to complicate things as his assistant. I wrote it down wrong. Her assistant, whatever. I wrote down as her, it's him, his assistant. Daru ordered pizza. Makise cooks up a salad. That even sounds weird. So let's just say she makes a salad. Daru and Makise worry over what she's going to cook. Or is it Daru and Okabe? No, it's Daru and Okabe, isn't it? Why is Makise's name there? I think it's Daru and Okabe were kind of trolling what Kurisu was going to cook up or something like that. What the girls were going to make, and they were all fear-mongering and, it'd be better if we were gone, or whatever the case. Just funny stuff. Mayuri brought, and it's just more of the playful minor jab type stuff. Mayuri brought chicken tenders with Suzuha into the future gadget lab. So we're kind of having a get together before everything hits the fan for the world. So they're kind of having a celebration of their progress and the route that they have chosen mutually. And with Suzuha coming into the lab with Makise there, Suzuha and Makise have a bit of a stare down. Oh, hey, it's you. I don't like you, I don't trust you type of deal. We know what Suzuha claimed before. We don't know why, but we know she claimed it, that Makise is of CERN. So, of course, Suzuha wouldn't be too thrilled with her in the lab and all the development and ongoing stuff. Suzuha makes it clear she's not happy with Okabe. She's quite angry at Okabe for trusting Makise over her word on the matter. Both are lab members. Makise says, Makise defends herself, says that you don't know me. Suzuha says she knows how things go down. She knows how it goes down. Things go down. And claims Makise is acting innocent and she's really guilty. Oh boy. Who do you trust? Who do you trust? You got two chicks. Who do you trust? Which one? Which one do you trust? I don't know. If we were in Okabe's shoes, I don't know. He's kind of sided with both, really. So, I don't know. Mayuri's upset. She don't want them two fighting. She wants them to be good pals, good friends. She don't want any infighting to happen. Okabe tries to fix the fight. I think he calls it something like a chick fight or whatever the case. Suzuha reminds him of her warning, and it'll be his fault with what follows if he don't listen to her. Mayuri stops the fighting with her being caring and wants them both to be good friends. But I think Okabe, in that scene, there was a little bit more, and he was really being driven in a wedge. If he, for a moment, sided with Suzuha, Makise would criticize him. And if he sided with Makise, Suzuha would criticize him. So he kind of went back and forth and just could not win. Anyhow, Suzuha plays a board game with Okabe. Suzuha is losing, but Makise, here's a really neat little moment. Makise gives her a tip on Okabe's strategy, and turns out she's right. And she blushes momentarily, and because she revealed his strategy of sorts, he gets after her for helping Suzuha, and I think she gave a brief shot back or whatever, but it's just a great little it's just another one of those great verbal, playfully feuding and teasing, and she seemingly did that on purpose. Seemingly. I think she did. And thus she wants the verbal kind of playful feuding back and forth. She likes it. So it's very good from the viewer point of view. So Mayuri thanks Makise for getting along with Suzuha, for them setting aside their differences and being able to kind of be pals for the time being. Makise mentions Okabe seems most like himself when talking to Mayuri, and laughs about it in a decent way. Great indicator. She enjoys his uniqueness, his oddities, his dialogue, his chunibu-ness, all his verbal stuff. So, at first, there was a dislike, and now there's a like of the verbal back and forth, verbal ping pong with them. So, I like that. Okabe, after losing the game, I think, and thus losing like a dessert or a sandwich or a piece of pie or something to Suzuha, he decides to take a few-minute breather, goes onto the roof. Mayuri goes up there with him after a few or whatever the case, and she has a glowing lightsaber stick type thing and joins him. Mayuri states needing more stuff for the lab and upgrades. Given all the new lab members, we need more new equipment and additions and all that. So Okabe finds they're going to, with them going public, it will essentially make them rich with all the time travel stuff, so he'll let her buy things then and there. Mayuri ponders the change with Okabe. she's really good observing him. From him prior being sad, and then Daru and the other lab members came along, and everyone's really benefiting from one another. You know, isolation type of stuff, nobody benefits. But if you come together, have a good time, this and that, it's more of a everyone celebrating everyone's life type of a thing. It's a much better thing. So everyone's overall much happier than everyone being isolated and not spending time with each other, not being friends, pals, whatever the case. And then there's a flashback image of the 70 million years ago type of thing of Mayuri. And Mayuri ponders now, given with all this change, that Okabe is no longer lonely. That she does not no longer need to be a willful hostage of his anymore at the lab. So she's going to exnay. She's going to depart now. Now that he has enough people to really be there with him and for him. So she was, she was a good support system for him outside of all that happening before all this. So Daru opens the metal door, roof door, whatever the case, and calls them down into the lab over some sudden news of a train station. There's some sort of terrorist bomb threat shuts down all the local train stations of what they do, transport. And then we really start getting into things here. It starts really getting hot and heavy. Suzuha, at this point in time, asks, very directly, of this party being for the time machine, and they confirm. She asks, what about, she asks some more stuff about the hacking. What's the progress on all the hacking and stuff? Daru reveals they are directly connected to CERN. Suzuha panics. Panics bad. Like, real bad. Looks around. There's panning here, panning there. Of this part of the lab or this window type of a deal. She flees. She takes off. She's spooked. She's scared. And before she takes off, she very fast, very briefly, tries to warn them and says there's no time. No time. No time. And says she's going home. Okabe is now terrified. And, and with some of this stuff in the presentation here, there's a little vagueness, but overall, still, darn good job. Okabe, at this point, kind of gets freaked, and everything just kind of winds down, slows down. Very odd. If I can tap into what I originally was thinking for a moment. With him looking upon the hourglass in the Future Gadget Lab, and like there was something within it. It almost looked like a microchip or something. Some people speculated that was like a listening device that was tossed in there, or something along those lines. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just part of the hourglass thing. But I think there was something symbolic there because it's hourglass. Suzuha said they're out of time, and I don't know, with how he was holding it or whatever, that there wasn't the sand going through. So I was wondering, kind of speculating in the very, very heat of the moment. I think originally, my first blind run of this, I think I was thinking, whoa, is time slowing down, and is time going to stop or cease, or did it stop? Did time stop, or just for us, them, or who or what the heck is going on? I think that's where my mind was going with it. But so I think the hourglass was just symbolism. Hey, they're out of time. I don't know if there was actually a microchip or not in there. Some people think there was. It looked like something was there. I don't know if it was part of the hourglass or not. I don't know. And then you get dun dun, dun dun, dun dun, dun dun. Those dang heartbeats. And then you get this panning shot, slowly but surely, either from the first floor or the roof floor, the stairway, the panning and how it speeds up a little bit. So coming from the roof, and the angle is kind of confusing the shot. They're going up, down, up, whatever the case. So down or up angle, I don't know which one it was, whatever the case. Mayuri mentions that she gets out her pocket watch, and it's like out, it stopped, the watch died or whatever, and she's like, you know, with everything slowed down, it's like, she claims, I forget the exact line, but she's like, oh, but I just wound it, type of a deal. And that's another bit, right in the heat of the moment, that they're out of time. Out of time. The door is jettisoned open. CERN arrives at Future Gadget Lab, and they're not too happy. Several armed individuals and masked men, thugs, with seemingly AK-47s and pistolos, break into the Future Gadget Lab. I don't know if it's the first floor or the roof. I forget which one. I don't know. The presentation was kind of, but let's assume, I still don't know. I think the roof would be a lot harder, but still possible for CERN. But they still don't know it's CERN at this point yet, so I kind of botched that in the review, but nonetheless, and they're aimed at them, so they are the targets for whatever reason. Okabe drops the hourglass. It shatters. One of the armed thugs breaks the TV with I think the butt of the gun, and demands that they all get their hands in the air. They are doomed, absolutely doomed at this point. And another key bit, when the armed thug broke the TV, Makise was the one to scream and shout and kind of cower at the intensity and violence and sound and shattering. But anyhow, then walks in, slowly but surely, to the big reveal. And they still don't know it's CERN yet, but I botched. I put it in the notes a little too early. So, but it is what it is. Step by step, showing more and more in full gear, in like full spy assassin gear. The leader of the pack is revealed, of this group of armed thugs. Who is it? Moaka, the bonkers texter person. She is seemingly an assassin of CERN. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker moment. Here's where the hype is. This line. She mentions, "Your time machine is now the property of CERN." Ooh. And then she also mentions, but that's the big kicker. That's where they get the confirmation. This is CERN. Moaka's leading this group of thugs. And she also continues that Okabe, Makise, Daru will be joining them. They have to go. They have to leave. They're coming along for the ride. And there's 4 of them there. 3 must come. But there's 4 there. Immediately. Thick tension. Heavy weight. It's all there. It's self-explanatory. So naturally, Okabe asks, because Mayuri wasn't mentioned, what of Mayuri? Moaka says she is not needed. And then she takes aim with a I forget if it's a pistol or silence pistol. I'll assume silence pistol because a shot like that would make too much noise. So she's got a silenced pistol. This is a safe assumption. She aims it at Mayuri. They are defenseless. So, if they had their own, they could have defended themselves. But they got the total jump on them, and they didn't have anything to defend themselves. So, it would have been better if they had their own arms to defend themselves from this kind of garbage. The removal of people being able to defend themselves with arms opens up the possibility of not good things. So there's a lot against the Second Amendment right now, which is why I brought that up a bit. Absolute bakas. But anyhow, Okabe, heat of the moment, tense as heck, begs Moaka not to follow through with what she's planning. It's aimed at Mayuri. And Moaka, as friendly as Mayuri was, good gosh, they treated her like one of their own, and this is how she repays them. Working with CERN. So it's pretty much a given at this point that she was the one sending the threats. Pretty much a given. And she was in on the stuff and knew this and that. So bonkers. And Moaka starts pulling that trigger back. Oh man, intense. And she says, what does she say? She says, for FB. For FB. For FB. For FB. Boom. Moaka shoots Mayuri in the head with a silenced pistol. Mayuri's pocket watch also breaks, however, Whether the bullet hit that too or not, I don't know. Whatever the case. So Mayuri's watch was also symbolic. It's that she's out of time. She's out of time. So, very good with the symbolism, Steins Gate. Very good. Very, very good. And by the way, they have very good dub and sub. Very good dub and sub. I don't know what one I'd prefer. The main guy in the dub is really darn good, but there's really nothing quite like sub, but it has a good dub. It has a good dub, you know. So, generally, I usually prefer subbed, but anyhow. So, however, Mayuri's pocket watch breaks. So this may explain away why the outro has broken pieces of glass. It might be symbolic of this moment type of a deal. So Moeka, working for CERN, has assassinated Mayuri and is going to take Okabe, Makise, Daru, the ones with the know-how, to be enslaved, to work for CERN, and all that. They're going to be taken away. They're going to be enslaved to build CERN's time machine, and they will rule the world from there on. Dystopia instead of utopia. As bad of a situation as one can get, pretty much. Okabe gets down there. Mayuri is dead. Okabe holds Mayuri's corpse on the floor in his arms, just bloodied. And then Okabe gets that 70 million years ago vision thing, and Mayuri's graveyard bit the past, and the world line changes, and all sorts of things fly through his mind. Okabe, very upset with how things panned out, shouts off about the current result of reality and all the end game of all their choices. That's how it ends off. As I said, you need a strong start, you need a strong middle, and boy was this a strong middle. That was how you do a strong middle. That is a cliffhanger. Holy moly. Talk about cliffhanger. One of the MCs getting killed off by one of the other MCs, you know. And all the reveals. My goodness, there was so much this episode. So much. But anyhow, I don't know what my favorite moment is. I do not know. I don't know. There was that cutesy moment with Okabe and Makise. Him checking her for fever. And then there was Makise revealing Okabe's game board strategy. So see, that shows you how much they know each other at this point. But the most heavy in meat and potatoes is near the end here. So I'm going to go with the Moeka and Mayuri stuff. Holy moly, that is how you do a cliffhanger. So anyhow, let me know your favorite moment of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. We're halfway now. And it can only get more significant and heavy from here. So, pack a lunch, be prepared, and all that. So, I will see you up ahead as always. Take care, cool.